shows. How do you go from that to being a comic book creator?
So I worked on Comic Book Man. That was like 11 years ago, something like that. I was a supervising producer in the first season, before they kind of knew what the format was even. And my whole comics book fandom and journey all starts on that show. I did not grow up reading comics. I didn't have that period when I was a kid of being the kid that read comics. My geek thing when I was a kid was TV stuff. I used to watch like Star Trek with my mom. Like that was my geek thing, was fun TV, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, fantasy and 80s fantasy movies. Those were my like geek things when I was a kid. And I started reading comic books on the set of Comic Book Man. The first comic I ever read was The Walking Dead. I read that whole thing all the way through. The Walking Dead, the show, was only in like I think its second season when I did that. And I just fell in love with the medium and I started reading it. And so yeah, I was on Comic Book Man.
What is going on, everybody? It is us. We're here to celebrate this fine Saturday right before Halloween. We have
Hail Satan!
Jennifer Bauman, because that's what we do. We bring the people that watch our show onto the shows. We like to lower our listenership every Saturday as much as we can, adding them to the show, because that's just what we do. That short was Jerry Carita, who is a television producer turned comic book creator. Go check out the interview Justin and I did with him. He talks about, how Kevin Smith inspired him and what Kevin Smith thinks about, his new career in comic books. And he's a lot of fun. Check it out. It was a lot of fun. Justin and I are like rolling through the interviews. We have so many to come out next week. I hope everybody go check out the one we did Matthew Hasso too. He was a fun guy to talk to. I actually met Matthew Hasso because we were both fans of a podcast. So he listened to it was a Collider podcast. So I noticed his name was liking our stuff. And I'm like, I know this name from somewhere. So I messaged him. I'm like, are you the same Matthew Hasso that's always commenting on these Collider videos? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you're a fan of ours? He's like, yeah. And then we started talking and we became friends through, a common interest in podcasting. So it was cool to have him on as a guest because he's now doing freelance writing for comic books. And yeah, it's been awesome. Jennifer, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm good. Hi, everyone. I just had dinner, so yeah.
Nice. We're going to talk about our top 5 movies that scared us. Max's list will probably be the same as it was the last 10 years.
No, dude, I watch all kinds of scary movies. I obviously love horror so much that I have a lot to add to this conversation. Like
I do got to say, man, there's
a lot of twists and turns.
Your horror intake over the last year is like tripled.
Well, yeah, it sucks when you hate horror and you marry a horror fan.
It's like you married into it, yeah.
Yeah, it's, I'm obligated to watch like 3 horror movies a year at least, which is 3 times more than I would normally watch.
2 more days to get entered to win. All you have to do is hit subscribe. You don't have to screenshot. You don't have to do any work. Just hit subscribe. And then on Monday, I'll release a short announcing the winner. And then I will reiterate the winner again on next Saturday's show. Sealed Spider-Man 4K. Guys, this movie is amazing. It might be the best movie of the year.
A true horror film.
Can we not gloss over the fact that Max said "Hail Satan" and Jason rolled into "That's what we do here"? Like, I'm going to clip that so hard.
Hey, the Dark One's cool. The Dark Lord is awesome.
But yeah, so we're back. Guys, I look forward to this show every week. Like, I really do. This is my therapy. This podcast.
Thank you, dear listener, for putting up with Jason's therapy.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you.
We're going to learn things about Jason that we shouldn't know.
Recently single again. I figure I announce all the relationships. I should say that too. So, yeah, I mean, it's really weird to do. It's the first time that it was a truly mutual breakup. Like, a lot of them aren't. They say they are, but they're not. But this was truly mutual. Like, we both, just different things going on in life, and we're just like, we got to pause this, do our own thing, and then maybe come back later. But, yeah, so that's where I'm at right now.
We brought in Jen just to listen to you talk about your breakup.
I did, man.
We watched your short
on the show. She would have been listening to it off the show. So
True.
Before we get into the horror stuff, can I take a maniac minute?
No.
I've just been watching a crap ton of anime, and I just wanted to talk about some of the shows that I've been watching. All right, hey, it's just me. Here's Max with the Animaniac Minute. Check out Frieren, the Days Gone By or something like that. It is an interesting cartoon because it's about like the party of warriors defeats the demon lord, and this takes place after that. Like, so it's the elf. She outlives everyone, and it's kind of like walking in her shoes. And it's very slow, and it's interesting to me that it's very calm, and like the passage of time is handled very well. I really like that about the show. And it's funny to me because like I normally I'm more about action anime, and this does have a little bit of action, but the action beats are, it's sort of like Tarantino-esque, where it's like it's quick, it happens, and then we're following everything else. So yeah, I've been checking that out. I really enjoy it. Let's see here. I've got Shangri-La Frontier. This is an action anime. It's the story is not great, but the art is awesome, and there's a lot of cool, like dragon fighting and stuff like that. Spy Family is back for season 2. I'm enjoying that. That's another kind of slower comedy anime, but it's got heart, and it's fun. So check that out. Castlevania Nocturne. This is the first Castlevania show without Warren Ellis writing and directing, and it's still very good. So like obviously the art is on another level, and like the anime is still good. I was hoping that it wouldn't lose quality with after losing the like all-time great writer. So yeah, and then I don't know if I talked about this before, but Dragon Ball Super, the movie Superhero. If you have been waiting for Gohan to finally pop off, this is the movie you need to watch. If you've been waiting 30 years for them to unnerf Gohan, this is the movie you need to watch. All right, that's been the Maniac Minute.
I love the new segment, Max. Fantastic.
We need to have Brian Loud just waiting in the wing and being like taking notes every time we hang out with him.
I said Maniac Minute, not Maniac Hour and a Half.
And that's the most Max has contributed to the show in 10 years.
That's hurtful.
Oh man,
That's hurtful.
It took a while, but I got there.
Again, therapy is taking place here.
That's right. But Jim, at least I watched your short. It was a lot of fun. When did you create? I didn't check the timestamp. When did you make that? Was it pretty recent?
Yeah, it was last month.
Last month. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or no, it was the end of August, but it feels like last month.
What made you want to get into making films?
Probably Joel Haver. He kind of like encourages everyone to make their own films because anyone can. So, yeah.
I need to make a film.
Yeah. Especially with the technology now. So.
Yeah, you have the ability to make a film off of that little device you put in your pocket. So yeah. But no, I was always curious about this, Jen. Like when it comes to stuff like, say, the short and so forth. Like, how long did that kind of take to put together? I can't remember if you put down the description or not. Like how long that process was just to make that short.
Well, I did a lot of storyboarding with my husband, and that took like 2 weeks. And then I just filmed it in like 3 days and then edited it. So filming and editing was like a whole week. So, yeah.
So where did the idea come from? So I think it was you and your husband wrote it, if I remember the credits correctly. So like, how did you guys think about it? Like, how long did it take to kind of come up with the idea?
Well, it started with Joel had messaged me and said, "Oh, you should submit something to this film festival. It's a short film festival done by Volvox Observer. They're on Instagram, and they have a YouTube too. I don't know if I should just like write it somewhere. So, but and I like put it off for a long time because I had no idea what to do. And I had recently had like a weird mental breakthrough with something in my life. Now this feels like therapy, but
It's good.
but I had thought about like the first time I had sleep paralysis, and it was a long time ago, and I was going through a really stressful time in my life, and I had noticed or remembered that I had kept this doorknob from the house that I was sort of living in at the time, and I used it to like make paintings and stuff for texture. And I was like, you know what? Really weird that I keep this doorknob around and I keep having sleep paralysis. And so I like threw it away this year, and I haven't had it since. So I don't know what that means, but so this is kind of like the story of it, of the doorknob and stressful times.
So it's coming
cool.
more from like more of like a personal sort of like emotional center than like say
Yeah.
anything more supernatural. I mean, there's supernatural stuff that does kind of take place in it, but it's not overt. Like, yeah. No, I
Yeah,
like that.
it's supposed to be more dreamlike, but
Mhm.
yeah, than just supernatural. But
The shot without when she takes the contact lenses out. First off, like watching somebody touch their eyeball is probably
Yeah.
some of the scariest
A
stuff.
lot.
Like,
A lot.
yeah, something could go wrong.
So yeah, I always say like a horror movie for me is good like if it's got the lingering creepiness. Like I like jump scares or whatever. Like that's not really what I'm about. So I don't really like subscribe to those. But like that lingering creepiness is what makes like a good or a bad horror movie. And like to go from the touching the eyeball right to like the walking around without the contacts in. I thought like that kind of like resonated with me. I was like, okay, like there's something that's gonna happen, and there's no way to know what's going on. Like when because I've been wearing these glasses since I was in the 6th grade. Like I 100% have walked around without my glasses on, and I'm like, if something happens now, there's no way that I would be able to stop it.
It's like the Mummy movie, the one guy when he gets his eyes taken out. But
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Sorry.
surprised that
Oh no, you're
hasn't
The horror
been done.
podcast is great.
No,
Like
but,
I'm surprised that the no glasses shot hasn't been done in movies, because it seems
Yeah, I
like
don't-
such an obvious thing for a horror movie to do, especially in like found footage.
like found footage.
If you don't mind, like how did you just like unfocus your camera? Like what was the method for that shot? Because like it was me. I was like, this is exactly what it's like with my glasses off. Like it's just the blurriness. Like I can see stuff, but I can't see anything. Like I don't know. It makes it weird and then pitch black for me. Like that's
Yeah, I actually did all that in post production.
okay.
But I used like a pinhole kind of one. I don't know a blur effect, but so it kind of looks like you're a little bit squinting your eyes, so you can kind of see. I don't know if
No, it was really good.
Yeah.
it's effective.
It was very, very accurate to how I feel, and so that's what really got me about the whole thing. It did kind of go a little over my head because I've never like had sleep paralysis before. So when she was going through that,
thank goodness you don't want it.
right? Yeah, no, I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. So so that was a little, like I kind of got lost on that, but still very, very good, and there's just a lot of like good like stuff in there, packed into this little movie that and also not being a horror fan, I still enjoy it.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're not gonna hound you with questions right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
That's
This is my first sort of interview, so yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we were able to.
I'm glad it's live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. No, surely nothing will go wrong.
No.
Don't worry, we're consummate professionals.
Polar Knights, thank you so much. Bearded men
Yeah.
are the best. So many teddy bears, so little time.
Okay. Thank you.
Here's a spoiler alert for something coming very soon. We will be touching on beards soon on this podcast.
Oh,
Phrasing.
Now,
Maybe
What?
maybe if it's sponsored.
That's well, we're gonna lose that sponsorship real quick.
Yeah.
But I got something here for Mike or Justin and Max. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. This I'm very excited about. This is what it's going to take to get me back into Magic, and they did it. So here we go.
First time you see those pages, everything changes.
Did you guys see this yet, Max? Justin?
No.
I have. I'm excited for it though. I'm glad you
Like,
did.
need a new worlds, new possibilities.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Oh, okay.
We
I
invite you to
have a feeling.
explore the edges
Yep.
of your imagination
I'm
and
in.
find yourself.
They got my
along the
money.
way.
They
You
did it.
share your heroes with the people you love and watch them embark on adventures that will last forever.
Is that indeed a Menzel?
I don't know.
Maybe.
There's really only one word to
I swear.
describe it.
No. Okay.
Magic
the Gathering.
The Gathering.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't make a game like Max says all the time. You can't make a card game better than Magic.
No.
So why not just give up and just collaborate with them?
See, what I love about Magic is it's the rules. The rules are what I love. You can put any art on the cards that you want. It does not matter as long as the words all stay the same. So, yeah, like a lot of players are having trouble with these collaborations that they're doing. They're calling it Universes Beyond Magic cards. So it's not part of the main Magic storyline or even
It's probably all
Card
Commander
game.
legal. That's about it.
yeah. So like a lot of people kind of have trouble because they're like, well, Magic is supposed to be fantasy and like this ain't my Magic. And I'm like, hey man, like I don't see why you need to hate on everyone else. Like fantasy doesn't do it for a lot of people. So you know that they have still again like this awesome game that they can play with cards that they like to see. I definitely don't have a problem with it. I'm excited to see what they come out with. I will definitely be trying. This will probably be the only set that I ever try to collect all the cards from.
Now,
I'm
Marvel,
right there with you.
they've done a card game
They've done several.
before, right?
Oh, Marvel has
Okay.
done card games before.
They've done
their
several.
own thing. Okay.
Yeah, and they're all terrible. They're all awful.
So,
They are awful.
additional Magic the Gathering news. I'm Max. Did you see that they canceled their contract with the folks that do the judging, like the training judges?
Yes. Yeah, they lost
That's-
the judges.
That bothers me. I mean, it probably kills paper Magic in person at least a little bit, right? Or the card shop.
That's
person?
a
Tell
little
me.
bit bad, and it's definitely a bad feel because like there's some really really good judges out there, and they have to work very hard to keep up with everything. So that sucks, for all of them. Shout out to Aaron Hammer, you know who you are.
I hope so.
But also, like this is just the direction. Like this is the bad Hasbro-ness. We've talked about it on you and Tang a few times. It's the bad business that's ruining Magic, and like we're already seeing the results of their having this be about the money, and it's like Magic will make you all the money, like and all you people out there who fund everything, like let me tell you, if you make a good product, you'll make all the money. So all you have to do is make it the best that you can, not worry about making all the money that you can. It's just absolutely, and even the Marvel set is a part of it. They're doing too much. They're doing way too much. They're going to release this Marvel set in the middle of 4 other sets, and then expect people to pay for everything.
Yeah.
So far, they are. So
Now, would
Right,
there be
You're just killing all the high school middle. That was my whole concern. This whole thing is like, who's making the money to pay for this? Either the parents or adults, right? We're slowly killing the market that kind of everyone grew up in. But that's what
I may be back in if there's a function that allows me to put my old Marvel Masterpieces trading cards into play.
Oh, nice.
You remember those? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
you might
yeah.
see a spike in price for those if like there's an interest. Like, hey,
I've got a whole binder from when I
That's
was
what I'm
like
saying.
11 years old. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm
So,
ready to either utilize it or sell it. One of the
Now,
two.
the one thing that they absolutely should do is make all these magic cards do that. The 9-card actual picture. If they don't do that, I'm like, hey guys, like, you missed the mark. Like, you tried and you obviously failed.
First off, Polar Nights, what is the best horror show? I'm curious to see what you have to say. And Jennifer, do you play Magic or D&D or anything like that?
No. But my brothers have, and my husband has, so yeah.
Nice. I'm waiting for the Golden Girls Magic the Gathering set. Like, as soon as I can get that
That
Betty
would
White
be
card.
sick.
That actually would
That would
be
be sick. I'd be so down.
Yeah.
The movie is like, wait,
know that they're going for the cash grab when they start throwing out Betty White Magic cards.
That'd just
Yeah,
be like
collect
6
them all.
cards, though, right?
yeah, I was like, it wouldn't be very many, but it'd be a
No,
powerful
like,
set.
They could do it because I mean, like, they're doing Jurassic Park. They're kind of just tacking on some Jurassic Park cards to this new set that's coming out. Ixalan something or other.
What if?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was like, what if we stole from Yu-Gi-Oh the powers of Exodia, and it's just that the Golden Girls combine, you instantly win the game? That'd be fun. Just like Betty White's hair curlers, and then blow everything up.
But
I mean, that was kind of the way the show went too. It's like once the Golden Girls combine, that's when you get gold. So
there it is.
We got one Golden Girl and
Your treasure.
just doesn't do so well.
Oh.
But yeah, Jason, I'll play some Magic with you. Let's you get your Iron Man deck, I'll get my freaking Thor deck, and we'll have at it.
I can't wait.
I mean, I'm also hoping that that's a full set that they're doing, not just because a lot of the Universes Beyond have not been full sets. The only one that's been a full set actually is the Lord of the Rings. So like they did Transformers cards, they missed out on an opportunity to do a full set for that. I mean, I guess they still can because Hasbro owns that property.
Yeah.
If they don't make Stan Lee a card, I will fight someone. I will drive down.
Again, it's like do it or you're missing something. Like you guys don't understand the material.
Stan Lee will be the One Ring.
Oh my goodness!
Or have him be a cameo in all of like the main Avengers like pictures, and just have like a little Stan Lee head. Like, where's Waldo
of every card?
Mortal Kombat goofy guy. It's Stan Lee.
Whoopsie.
I know it's not going to happen, but please let this man rest.
Yeah, okay.
Let this man rest in peace.
Well, I mean, they could draw him,
Yeah.
Jason,
What's that?
what do we got next?
Oh, what do we got next, Max? It's a very good question. We have our top 5 movies that scared us.
Definitely made this list before the show started today.
Yeah.
The ink was dry in my notebook.
I'm doing mine off the cuff. So, top 5 movies that scared us. My number 5 is a movie that came out last year, and I got a lot of shit for this movie scaring me because I went with my daughter and some of her friends, and I was scared. I was very, very scared.
He was inconsolable, and they had to drive him home.
The movie is Smile, and anytime somebody makes that face at me, I still get scared. I have PTSD over watching Smile. And it's the first
That's my number
movie
2.
in a long time that scared me. Like the imagery in that movie, I was petrified. And then I found out that somebody was taking Max to see this movie, and I tried to warn against it. But Smile is my number 5.
That's my number 2.
Oh my goodness.
Smile is my number 2.
That's so funny.
So scary. Like, oh my God, it did such a good job.
It is, man. Yeah, like, and again, the lingering creepiness. That is how, like, if you're gonna horror movie correctly, it should just leave you this uneasy feeling like something's coming around the corner, but all the time. And like this movie did that for sure. And I was like, I could not have lights off. Like lights had to be on wherever I was going. Like for a good 2 weeks after I saw that movie, I was like, I'm such a coward. But like, Smile. Ugh.
I would have loved to have been around your household around that time where it's like the light comes on in the hallway and it's like, oh, Max is probably coming up the stairs and he just pokes his head around.
Smiling at
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, terrifying. That movie was terrifying. I agree with this.
All right, Jennifer, what about you? What's your number 5?
Okay, so my list has a lot of old movies on it. Because I don't know, like I just don't get that scared anymore. Maybe I was desensitized
adult.
as a child. So all my childhood ones are on here. So
Cool.
the Black Cauldron
Nice.
definitely scared me as
There
a
is some-
child.
There's some imagery in that is like, wow, this is Disney. Okay.
Yeah. And I know people didn't like it when it came out and stuff, but I don't know. Like,
That's
I
the one that's
liked
got the
it.
creepy witches in it, right?
Yeah, well, Three Witches, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, just the Goat King and all that stuff. So
I get it. Wait till you hear my number 4. So yeah,
okay.
yeah. My
The
cousin used to
Goat
watch
King.
that movie all the time. The
Yeah.
Black Cauldron. Any
Mhm.
chance she got when she was like 5, she was obsessed with it. She's really into horror now, so I mean it tracks. But yeah.
Right. I do like it though. I just when I was a kid, I don't know.
I will say, like, it was before, like, the whole Disney Renaissance thing kicked off, and that was around the time a lot of their animated stuff wasn't doing as well as it could. But I remember that
Yeah.
movie. There's a lot to appreciate. Like, John Hurt's in that, right? He's
Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
like, you have a naturally like creepy
Animated.
voice with gravitas in there. Like, absolutely. Like, it
Yeah.
lends itself.
What about you, Mike? What's your 5?
Okay, well, you know how I do here. I gotta throw out an honorable mention because it's not technically a movie, but I feel you can get through it as like an 8-hour movie viewing experience. Midnight Mass is
So good.
Oh yeah,
So good.
Someone else
like-
is trying to get me to watch that.
yeah.
recently.
It
I
just
think it'd be a lot for you, Max. But I mean, just because I'm not sure you'd like it. Not that you couldn't handle it.
No, like I appreciate that. No, seriously, like I'm not offended. Like, thank you.
I just threw it on there as an honorable just because I know it's not technically a movie, but again, it's like for a majority of it being shot in like daylight and stuff like that, it's still creepy. I love the music, the production design, the performances are great. So that's my honorable mention. My actual legit number 5 selection is Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. A lot of my selections, well, some of them will be a little bit more not outright supernatural stuff outright, but like this one, it blends the line of like, is it, all just a psychological kind of emotional thing taking place, or is it, there are these apparitions, these entities that inhabit this little section of Twin Peaks and stuff like that, and they're causing all kinds of trouble. And of course, anyone who knows the show and stuff like that, you kind of get a sense of what the lore is. But at the time when I saw this before I actually watched the show Twin Peaks, so I was like, what is this? And parts where David Bowie shows up and he's just ranting and raving. Ray Wise as Leland Palmer is like one of the most terrifying performances I've ever seen in movie history, in my opinion. And Cheryl Lee is like this great protagonist in Laura Palmer, and you get a little bit backstory as to the mystery of Laura Palmer. And
That's why I was so surprised when the reactions to season 3. People, that it wasn't so linear like the original show kind of was.
Mm-hmm.
But Fire Walk with Me is definitely like a sign of what the future of Twin Peaks is going to be.
Oh yeah, and while some people might find it goofy or really eccentric at times, like there's a lot of talk about like abuse and trauma taking place in that movie, outright, but is kind of coded in this element of like fantasy, horror, dreamlike stuff like we were talking about before. Like you're not quite sure, is it really happening, or is this just more of like a dream fantasy situation? And it's unnerving. So
Is it just fantasy?
I do want to talk Midnight Mass for just a second. Like Mike Flanagan is easily on his way to being the best showrunner in television history. And I don't know about you guys, but I am super stoked that he is the guy doing The Dark Tower.
Yeah, I heard. So obviously, I've not seen some of his work, but no, I heard that this dude is guy getting Dark Tower, and I'm like, good. Like, if his stuff is actually scary, then good. Like, I hope he's got a lot of good like camera work and a lot of like knows how to tell a story. Like, that's all we need. Like, I'm so down. Like I would need to see a good Dark Tower. Like, the story is so awesome. It needs to not be ruined just one time.
See, I think Mike Flanagan's shows are great, but if you really want to see like how good he works on in an impossible situation, I think his Doctor Sleep, The Shining 2, is a good example of that, because he had to make a sequel to the original Shining and please Stephen King at the same time, which we all know Stephen King does not like the original Shining, and the guy pulled it off. Like, he did such a good job with The Shining 2 that I am a fan of this guy. I have not seen anything bad that he's done yet. He's done a couple other Stephen King adaptations that have been fantastic. Haunting of Hill House was great. Midnight Mass was great. I even like the Midnight Club that he did.
Me too.
Only got one season because Netflix is fucking stupid and let Amazon get a hold of him. Like, how do you let your best showrunner go, especially when you're already
wants money? When he wants money, that's when you let him go.
Amazon's like, Lord of the Rings.
He's your cash cow right now.
This is no longer cost effective. Goodbye.
They'll be like, "Oh, nice. You mean he's not on the Great British Bake Off? We can chuck him."
But that's the Firewalk with Me is a nice out of the box pick. I like that, Mike.
It feels like it was a real. I mean, David Lynch did a lot of stuff prior that was very, visceral and surreal and things like that. But this is where I think he was kind of like, okay, everybody, I really like the show I was doing, so I'm gonna try it again, just in film, and you're gonna sit with it and be disturbed, and that's okay.
But the only difference is, same thing with his Showtime shows. He didn't have anybody telling him no, and it worked well for him. Like, he got to make his movie.
Yeah. That's wild to me that he got started on like ABC primetime drama series, and then that same series eventually became like a Showtime original, and it's just like, wow.
What about you, Justin?
Mine wasn't so much scary. I always said the list was scary, but Midsommar made me feel uncomfortable the whole movie. Like, I wasn't necessarily scared, but like unnerved is like the premise of the
creepiness.
And frustration, because like I wanted something to happen to the people doing the thing, and nothing happened. But no, it was super creepy. I know, sorry. I know. My bad. Go watch the movie. It's super creepy, but it is pretty good.
Speaking of teddy bears. Not giving away too much, but yeah.
Yeah. The premise starting off with like the whole suicide thing, which isn't a spoiler, happens in the first 2 minutes. So like the whole thing is just heavy.
I haven't seen the first 2 minutes. Spoiler.
Fine.
Well, the movie. I mean, what you need to know going into this movie is that it is a pile on the main character. Like, they pile on trauma like nobody's business on Florence Pugh. So it's like,
I can't wait to see
it's
it.
heavy the whole time. You don't get a breath. You just
she is really good too.
She's great. She's great in the movie.
That movie got gifted to me, so I can't wait to check it out. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, enjoy.
All right, Max, lay it on us.
Oh shit! Number 5.
I'm so curious.
To Ernest Scared Stupid.
That was my number 4.
Terrifying for me as a kid.
Number 4.
That was terrifying for me as a kid. I had to go to my house just in case those trolls showed up.
You were like, I picked a bunch of my childhood. I'm like, you don't know the half of it, lady.
Oh my god.
This is the movie that let me know I did not like horror movies, and it was an Ernest movie. Like, I was legit afraid of that leprechaun thing, and like, oh my goodness, I still like. If I were to even go and watch the movie again, I don't think it would make me afraid, but my brain would take me right back there. Like, it's Ernest Scared Stupid was like so scary.
Now, I know we've talked about this movie multiple times, but I keep forgetting every time we do. He needs milk, right?
Yeah, kills him. Yeah.
What's the name of the troll thing again? Does anyone remember?
I don't remember.
I just remember he's like a troll monster thing, and he needs milk for some reason.
He stole children, like turned them into like small like statues and put them in a bag, I think, and took them back to the tree. But I don't remember his name.
And how did How did Ernest play into this again?
It was his town, and he had befriended the children of the town.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember.
And he had like a lineage.
There was
his lineage. That's what it was.
Yeah.
that only a world could bring it back, and that the lineage would get dumber and dumber and dumber.
Yeah.
And you, Ernest.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I couldn't recall. I'm like, how does he can? I think it's an heir type thing, or chosen one narrative. And I'm like, that's right. Ernest is the chosen one.
I don't even remember any of that. I just remember being terrified.
Eartha Kitt's in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's
yeah.
mad. I was like, that's how she got Madame Zeroni.
John. Oh, good, sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying. I do remember her being a lot like she was chewing scenery, and it's like gloriously so.
Yeah.
If John Cena doesn't start to do Ernest movies, I'm very disappointed. His
been
as he
saying
ages, face
Yeah.
listen, his face looks like Barney.
I understand they look sort of similar, but like John Cena's head is the size of Ernest P. Worrell. Like
That's totally fair.
Matt's already gotten a way around that. Ernest does steroids. Let's do it.
You can't make that
Ernest
movie.
goes to the gym.
You cannot make that movie. Oh my god.
But it would be some like self-aware thing where it's like, yeah, he's a jacked up Ernest, but he's well aware. Like I'm very capable.
Just make him his cousin. Don't replace him. Just he's another Worrell.
Another
world.
world, yeah.
I can deal with that. I can deal with that. But like, yeah, no, I'm not. I cannot have John Cena playing Ernest. Like that's
Ernest
just,
Jr.
Like, oh my god, Ernest.
You can do comedy. You can do comedy very well. But yeah, this is my number 4, and I saw this in theaters. And the fact that this movie scared me as a kid is like absurd because I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play prior to this. Maybe it was just the fact that I saw it in theaters at such a young age, but I remember being petrified. And I went with my sister and my mom. My mom had to take my sister out of the theater, but I'm not leaving this theater. This movie is not scaring me. I wanted to hide under my seat so bad. The Ghostbusters, the dogs scared me a lot as a kid, but nothing compared to these trolls.
Yeah,
like,
man.
They would. I didn't want to be turned into like chocolate-looking kid in a tree.
It was horrible. It was horrible. Like. And then I'm like, I don't know, Ernest. Like, who's gonna save the day? You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes here. Like.
Sorry,
I know.
I lost the lead there. So Ernest Scared Stupid's your number 4 then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You guys did really grow up
sympathetic,
together,
though.
didn't you?
Yeah,
Similar
he's
wavelengths.
sympathetic,
Like,
though.
wow.
We did. We definitely grew up together. We're on like 35 years of friendship now.
Yeah, he's definitely Jason is my second oldest friend.
Nice.
That I still talk to.
Aww.
Yeah, we're more like family because we fought in like family and we've done all that stuff. We're definitely family.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's been enough. There's been enough shared trauma to consider us family.
Therapy, everybody.
Sure.
Therapy.
It's a
all right. Who's Jennifer? Is your number 4?
Jennifer.
Oh, well, keeping on theme, I guess, is 1986 Troll.
I just watched that. Oh my god!
As a kid, I watched that, and that scene with like the misty forest is just stuck in my head. Like
it is
scary.
Yeah,
I watched it recently, and I laugh. But
yeah.
I got it on Blu-ray and I just put it in and watched it, and I still enjoyed it. But I'm like, why did this movie scare me?
I have never seen that movie because of Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yep, it's a troll.
It's very much a send. I'd say Ernest Scared Stupid is a send up of Troll at that point too.
Yeah.
I would see that one and keep going every time.
I love what you said there. It's like now you can look back on it, Jennifer, and say like, okay, now I kind of laugh at it because there's a lot there in retrospect that you're kind of like, as an adult, you can appreciate on a different level. Kind of saying like, Sonny Bono's in this. Wow. Yeah. And the main character's name is Harry Potter.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm like,
you're a wizard, Harry.
And you forgot one other person who's in it, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Well, yeah. That's the forest scene. Yeah, with her. It's just.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone starts somewhere.
How old is she? 12?
No, she was an adult.
Yeah, she was grown up at that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there he is.
Yeah, there he is.
I mean, they're very close.
Very close, very similar.
Yeah.
But not as similar as Troll 2 doesn't look like anything else.
No, Troll 2, yeah.
So, no, that man.
And that one didn't even scare me that much when I saw it. I don't know why.
I totally understand that, like, because you look at Troll and you're kind of like, oh, these practical effects are actually like really, like the puppetry work and the suit work is like really good for the time. And then you look at Troll 2 and you're like, okay.
Troll 2 doesn't even have trolls in it.
No trolls, goblins
Yeah.
who live in Nilbog.
Nilbog, yep.
Nilbog.
Yeah.
Troll 2 is the greatest, worst movie of all time.
One of, I'd say one of.
That's the one. Yeah.
There's probably a couple of others you could rank above it, but
I need to watch it. I love that you picked that. That was going to be on my list, so I'm really glad.
I kind of that was like a dark horse pick. Like I was like, oh man, I was not expecting to revisit Troll on here. That's awesome.
What do you got at number 4, Mike?
Number 4 for me, it's another more recent film from like a few years ago. The Witch, or as the titles would be like the Vitch, 2 V's instead of a W. Yeah, this again feeds into sort of kind of like the Midsummer thing you were talking about, Justin, where it's like it's really unnerving, more so like the total time for actual witch stuff to be happening is very few and far between in the actual film, but it's just about like this family disintegrating in ye old, pre-colonies like America type stuff, and just this family completely just falls apart out in the wilderness. And there was a point where I was also like, okay, this kid, Anya Taylor-Joy, she's kind of creepy. And sure enough, she goes on to do like a whole bunch of creepy films. So good on her for that. But yeah, The Witch, it just has this gloom over it the whole time. That's like nothing. There's going to be no happy ending to this. There's going to be no redemption, no bright side at the end of this film. It's just a drudge, but it's an unnerving drudge. So.
Yeah, I need to watch more A24. I'm very ashamed of my A24 viewing. I've seen X and I've seen Pearl. And
Those
Whiplash.
are good. I like X and Pearl. Those are decent.
No, Whiplash is Blumhouse, not A24. Never mind. I've seen X and Pearl.
No, well, this was like I think the first film from Robert Eggers, who he went and did The Lighthouse, which I love The Lighthouse too, but I don't find it as scary just because Willem Dafoe kind of cracks me up sometimes. But but also The Northman. The Northman was his more recent one.
The Northman.
I like The Northman.
Yeah. I like that one a lot.
It was it Hamlet? They were recreating the Hamlet? The story pre Hamlet.
Yeah. It takes like sort of root from like perhaps the origins of Hamlet, as it were, but it more delved into like Norse culture and so forth.
Right. Yeah, I loved it. So good.
Oh yeah, it was brutal. That movie was freaking awesome.
What about you, Justin?
My number 4. I kind of stayed in the same universe because I think the person who did Midsummer is the same as did Hereditary, but
Hereditary.
Sorry.
Thank
you. Hereditary.
No, it's a common thing. People like it's Hereditary. No, Hereditary. Got it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Either way, when the little spoiler for anybody that hasn't seen it, when the kid puts her head out the window, like I couldn't. Like that was rough for me. I did not think that was going to happen in any movie, let alone the one I was currently watching. It was rough.
The performances are really solid throughout. Like Toni Collette, I genuinely feel like she was denied even an Oscar nomination for that. Like,
it was crazy.
I need to see that. That's another one that was recently gifted to me. Somebody really wants me to watch A24 movies.
I was about to say you're getting gifted a lot of A24 material.
Yeah, to me that one's a better movie than Midsummer, so I'd start there. But that's my personal opinion.
Maybe you want to end.
I have a tough time with cult movies. I know Midsummer is a cult movie.
Well,
it's a religious festival. It's not like it's
a cult. It is a cult. No, Hereditary is really good.
My number 4. How do I always forget it's my turn? My number 4 is.
We go in order.
Return of the Living Dead. I watched it recently, and it didn't scare me until I started thinking about it afterwards, which is kind of weird. But I really enjoyed the movie. And zombie movies generally are the same, but this one does have a different kind of twist to it. And I really love. I know this is an old movie, but again, like I've never been the horror guy, but yeah. So my wife made me watch. She's like, "You haven't seen this?" And I was like, "No. Why would I watch it? Why would I watch this?" But yeah, so we watched it, and like afterward, I'm just thinking, like, man, those zombies are really scary. Like, and that's something that can happen. And the explanation of why they're doing what they're doing, I loved. I thought it was a very, very solid horror flick, and had a great time watching it. And yeah, so that's my number 4.
That is a fun franchise, Return of the Living Dead. I've
Well,
seen
I
through
mean,
3.
I've heard that like after that one, it gets like kind of out there, and like that was just like it's this one that you need to watch. So like I'm probably not gonna go see the rest of them, but like yeah, the first one I've seen. But I probably saw that like a year ago, a year or two.
Yeah, the second one is pretty much similar to the first one, and then the third one gets fucking batshit crazy. And then I haven't seen any past 3, but because I was told not to watch past 3. I think
do you always do what you're told, Jason?
Yeah, I do.
Come on.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with taking good advice. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to. You don't always got to.
It's called wisdom, right?
Yep.
My number 3 is also going to be on Max's list, and I have a story to go with my number 3. But my number 3 is Stephen King's It, more specifically the first half. So I watched this movie a lot as a kid. This was one of my. I like any movies where kids had camaraderie, like core group of friends, and if you had that in a movie back then, I was in. So I loved it. And one of the times I watched it, I looked out my backyard and there was a red balloon like floating across the backyard. I was fucking done. I went up in my room. I locked the door until my parents got home. I was not leaving my bedroom until that was over. Because
that can't have really happened, can it? No way.
It did. I swear to God, it happened.
Wow.
I swear.
Unless like your brain just did that to you.
Yeah, unless your brain played a trick on you.
Traumatize yourself like so deeply, you know what I'm saying? Like
it probably was the 40th or 50th time I'd watched it. Like I watched this movie. I rented this movie so many times. The guy at Meyer, yes, Myers used to rent movies. The guy at Meyer gave me the movie. He just let me have it after so many times renting it. The fact that it scared me at that moment it's all because I saw that red balloon. Like,
wow.
That was it. And
Some kid had a birthday party down the street and traumatized Jason for the next week.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, some kid just was having a good time with a birthday party early in the day and just forgot to take in some decorations.
Or I mean, like, because if it was floating across, like your backyard or whatever, that means that like 2 days ago, some kid had a birthday party and the balloon got let go of, and it's been traveling here this whole time, and it's coming down to go at this angle right where you can see it go across the fence. Today, like that's what happened.
That's just bad timing on your part, man.
So scary.
Truly is Jason's fault.
I'm gonna say we'll save Max's to where.
Yeah, because I got my whole other deal with that movie.
What about you, Jennifer?
Well, speaking of cults and boys camaraderie, A Clockwork Orange. So
yeah,
check those boxes.
But just milk also. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
But and then just hearing Beethoven and your eyes open like that, just yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is, it is unsettling. Well, not just like what's his name? Alex, Alex. Like he's unsettling. Malcolm McDowell is just. Let's just say Malcolm McDowell is unsettling. But but what happens to him throughout the film is equally as unsettling. Even though it's like I don't want to root for this character.
No,
not at all. But I do. There's like some degree of sympathy or empathy at points. It's just like. Don't make me feel this way.
Right? Yeah, like who wants to have sympathy for the devil?
No. What about you, Justin or Mike? Sorry, Mike.
Oh, this is 3, right?
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, the original film isn't on my list anywhere. I think it's a very effective horror film, but I don't personally get scared by it. But what does scare me is The Exorcist 3. That I just watched it a couple of days ago. That film, revisiting it is legitimately like terrifying for me. There's some goofy stuff. Fabio plays an angel in a dream sequence. But to balance that out, there's just a lot of slow moments in the film that build up tension. It still has one of the best jump scares that I fall for every time to this. I've watched the film like at least 6 or 7 times, and I fall for it every time still. Like, it always takes me by surprise every time.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. But there, and Brad Dourif, I got to say, George C. Scott is great. He's just this really disheveled and worn out. He's a detective from the first film, and he's just kind of over everything. But George C. Scott holds his own against Brad Dourif in this as the Gemini killer, and this had me convinced Brad Dourif could be a really good Joker.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. You listen
Even
to his
his
monologues. He's in a straitjacket for his whole screen time. Like, it's chilling. He's really chilling.
Even his voiceover as Chucky could be an argument for him being the Joker. But
yes, Chucky, of course. No, this is after Chucky too, right? Like, Child's Play had come out before this, the first one at least, right?
Yeah, they were close to each other. Yeah,
close to each other.
But I avoided The Exorcist 3 for so many years, and then Dan made me watch it, and it is so good. Like, I watched Exorcist 1, I watched Exorcist 2, I was done with Exorcist. Exorcist 2 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And then I watched Exorcist Beginnings, and that wasn't great. But Exorcist 3, guys, go check it out. Wow. It's a really good movie. Not Max, but everybody else, go check it out.
Yeah. No, it's and the thing is too, a whole lot of the violent, gory stuff takes place off screen. Like, you never actually see anything violent or gory happen. It's all after the fact, and it's all like more about describing it than anything else. It's just like, ugh. So unnerving.
Happy Halloween, Frankie. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. What about you, Justin?
My number 3 was a movie that I watched a lot when I was younger. The Others, Nicole Kidman. They were a family post World War II, like directly post World War II, and they thought their house was haunted with a pretty heavy twist. And a younger Chris Eccleston, the doctor.
Yep.
But really super. I mean, it creeped me out. Ambiance is a big thing for me, and it was definitely creepy, and the twist really got me the first time I watched it. And I was like, I had to rewatch it just because I was like, with that lens of the twist.
I have a quick story about that, because I did go see that in the theater when it came out with some people that were in our social circle at the time in high school. I don't think I went with either you or Jason, Max, but like, we went to go watch it, and there is a jump scare in that really freaks me out. And I literally like jumped up. We're in the front row. I jumped up out of my seat and went like, "Holy shit!" Like,
was it when the sheet, when they were in the sheet?
Well, I don't want to give it away. It's towards the end of the movie, closer to the end of the movie, before the big reveal. And like, the audience, the theater's packed and stuff. And I'm just looking around, and everyone's like looking at me. I'm like, it got me. I can't. And I just sit back down.
Yeah, like, hey, don't.
When you get got,
it worked. Yeah. They did a thing and it worked. Like, don't get mad at me.
That recently, that just got added to the Criterion collection, so now you can watch it in like 4K Ultra HD.
Sweet.
So yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's a great Halloween movie. Check it out.
All right, Max.
Max,
take us on a journey.
Yep.
Gets him every time.
All right, so I'm on to The Conjuring.
Nice, good call.
Yeah.
Most of this movie, like right up until the end, is just so creepy and so effectively creepy that like I was like, oh man, every time like you hear a door slam or something, you're like, oh, the place is haunted, like we're getting out of here. But so The Conjuring, but like at the end, the monster reveal is like kind of is the worst part, but. That's fine. Like, most of the movie is excellent. So yeah, The Conjuring.
Yeah, I agree. There's a ramp up in the third act that's kind of like, okay, it's not so much scary as it is superhero movie now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but no, everything else great. Like, yeah.
My number 2 I saw this movie in theaters. This is the first true horror movie I think I saw in theaters. The first one I remember seeing in theaters, and it was Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which, in my opinion, is the best of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. It's definitely the precursor to Scream. And the thing that was so scary about this movie is you're watching it in the theater, and it's Freddy coming into reality. Like the whole plot of the movie is that Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street series was keeping the demon at bay. The more that they created the movies, the more the Freddy demon stayed away. And then they've stopped making him because they killed off Freddy, and then now he's slowly coming into our reality. And it's just a really well done movie. It's got the original cast back, Wes Craven. They all play themselves, and it is just a freaking scary movie. And seeing it in theaters, I think I was 12. I went with my dad, and I went with a couple of guys that I was friends with at the time, and I just remember being so scared going home that night, like petrified, because Freddy wasn't just in the movies anymore. Like he was coming into my reality, and I wasn't ready for that.
And then you saw Fedora and a sweater on the chair.
Fedoras have scared me ever since.
Floating by the backyard.
Yeah, New Nightmare did what Halloween 2018 did, because you didn't think Freddy or Michael Myers could get scary again. And then a New Nightmare, they're like, yeah, we can make Freddy scary again. And then it's like, yeah, you guys succeeded. Congratulations. I'm terrified. And that fucking kid in that movie is terrifying as well.
The curse counter for Jason. We've got like 4 F-bombs tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Like I haven't even been bad.
I know. I'm on
Justin, where's your demonetization clock anymore?
It's all the 4 I've been doing.
YouTube killed that policy, so I was like, I mean, I can still do it.
You might as well just still do it, just in case. Watch your profanity. But
I do enjoy that clip a lot.
No, it was her kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah, he was something else.
He's the same kid from Pet Sematary, the one who got hit by the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a satisfying moment in the movie.
Max, you and your love of kids.
Yeah. How many kids are in your house right now?
It's actually just one. Just one
right
now. Thank
I was
God.
expecting like 4.
It's been like we've had upwards of 7. Like it gets awful in here. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Talk about your scary movies. This is like, at the kid's birthday. That's my scary movie. 8 children all together.
This is real.
That's funny.
What's your number 2, Jennifer?
Candyman.
Oh, that's a good one.
I haven't seen the new one.
I was about to ask, have you seen the new one? Yeah.
No, we were talking about it. I didn't even know there was a new one.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah. Again, all these movies I watched when I was a kid. So yeah, like the whole locust coming out of his mouth and just
That's
I don't know if I could ever do that.
Too scary to watch.
Yeah, it's the hook and everything. So
Tony Todd, man, he was
he's
super
really good.
He's so good.
Really good.
Freaky guy, yeah, for sure.
Excited to see him again. So
what about you, Mike?
So it's funny you mentioned New Nightmare, Jason. That was almost my number 2, but I decided like I don't really get scared by Freddy so much anymore, even in something as effective as New Nightmare. So I decided to go with the next thing, which was The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
mm-hmm.
Even though I know this is one where I do know all the beats and it doesn't take me by surprise so much, but it's just so disgusting. It is so disgusting and gross. And The Thing is just this undefinable, like, it doesn't have an actual, like, true form. It's just this hodgepodge of anything that it touches and absorbs. And it is just so grotesque. And the sound that it emanates and the music, it's so simple. And that isolation, too. Like, no one trusts each other. Even after they prove themselves to be human. Like, no one trusts one another. The ending of it, again, it's not like a happy ending at the end. It's all about, like, well, let's just see what happens. And you're just like, wow. Like, it's heavy.
Yeah, like, who was the Thing? You don't even know. And, The Thing is great. That's
and then he says it's clobbering time, and it's just
Joins up with the X-Men.
Change up the Thing.
It still works, a lot of these movies you go back and watch them, and it's like, okay, like, it's very hokey, but I don't know, something about The Thing still works.
It stands up. I believe you can put that up against any contemporary horror film this day, and it still works. Which is weird that they tried to make a prequel to it.
Right.
I'm like, what? Can we just let, especially like horror films, let them be like this one thing? Like stuff like Freddy, you can franchise and he can go have weird dream adventures and what have you. The Thing, I feel that serves as a one and done type of thing. And they did the prequel, and I'm like, it's all CGI, and The Thing doesn't even try to hide that it's an alien. It's like, I'm here and I'm wacky.
Couple of wild, crazy kids.
Yeah, you wild and crazy guys.
You made me think you're like an inflatable arm, like your car salesman.
Yeah, he's a
trying to
floating,
kill you.
yeah, tube man or whatever.
About you, Justin?
Okay, I'm gonna give you an honorable mention because I just thought about it and I don't want to forget. But this is a TV show, The Tale of the Ghastly Grinner. This is Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, where every time they ran into this villain, they stopped talking and just like goo would come out of their mouth. And as a kid, I didn't sleep. That was the first thing that kept me up all night. I could not sleep. Like from Friday night to Saturday, I would just like white knuckling it. Like, don't you talk to me. Like that scared the crap out of me as a kid.
So did you guys catch the game?
Yeah, they were just so scary. It scared the crap out of me. It's like, you can't even get help. Everyone's already spitting out slime. But no, my number 2 is The Ring. That movie scared the bejesus out of me as a kid. Yeah, that's the guy from Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was awful.
You're welcome.
Jesus. Oh yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Like friggin' God, no, stop it, dude. No, we don't need that.
I'm gonna come back to Ohio just to put a red balloon outside your window. Jason.
Freaks me out now.
Mike constantly just floating him up above his window. Just like,
Oh my God.
Now I'm gonna know it's you. But Justin, The Ring is good, man. That's a good argument for a remake done very well.
Well, did you ever see the original? What was it? The Japanese version?
I have not. That movie scared the crap out of me. I didn't like. I had to move my TV out of my room. Like that girl ain't gonna get me while I'm sleeping. Just like.
Now you're talking crazy. I never wanted to get the TV out of my room.
Well, I was like 10. I was 10 at the time. I was pretty young for it. I was like, this is a lot, at least for me.
That's a good pick, man. All right, Max.
Yeah, for my number 2, you already said it. It was friggin' Smile. So I'm gonna throw one in there. The Mist. Like a solidly creepy movie, but absolutely terrifying to like as to just like what will happen to people when the craziness happens, and then like also that there's monsters is like, it's like, oh, and then we're gonna sprinkle some paprika on there, like that was just the extra. The real horror story is like what happened to the people in their minds.
Yeah.
So like
And that was based off of Stephen King's short, I believe, right? Yeah.
Oh,
and the ending was different than the book.
Greatest
and he liked
ending to a movie of all time.
Yeah.
I feel like you shouldn't say that after just saying you don't like kids. Like it's like.
Well,
I feel like I'm on brand.
Yeah.
You're consistent.
This is consistent for Max.
What a shocker of an ending, though! Like, wow.
Yeah, like the kid isn't even that annoying. Like there's definitely been like
you like the kid.
Kids. Yeah, like he wasn't bad, but like that ending, yes, like I loved it. I don't know, like this. I'm actually a terrible person. That's what it is. But like that ending to me, I was like that. I never saw that coming, and it's just like, what would make this the worst possible ending for the main character? They thought of that, and then they did it. And it's just like, I don't know why you did that, but thank you so much.
Stephen King even approved it, right? He was like, hey, that's how I should have ended my book. You had a better ending.
Oh, yeah, Stephen King sucks at endings. He can't do endings to save his life. Like, I know he's a great writer. Like, I love some Stephen King, and like Dark Tower is so good. Like, it's one of my favorite stories of all time. But no, Stephen King sucks at endings.
No.
Like, this is
Frank Darabont, he knew what he was doing when he made that adaptation. Like, it was really, really good. And yeah, you got some pre-Walking Dead folks. Like you got Carol, Andrea, and Dale in there.
Yeah, which was a Frank Darabont show for the first season.
Yeah, it was Frank for a while, but No, they're
I
really
wish we
good.
could have seen Frank Darabont do that whole series.
There's
Yeah.
there's the regular color version, but I know there's a black and white version. I have never seen the black and white version. I really want to know, like, because it does play like an older sort of 50s horror type of film.
Was the TV show ever any good?
The Mist, that was the
I never watched it.
I did watch the Mist TV show when it was on Netflix for a while, because it originally aired on Spike.
Yeah, I heard it was okay.
So no, it's not. It's not good. The movie's better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The show is. I remember. There's not a lot I remember about the show itself, other than every episode just made me more and more infuriated because these characters suck.
You almost were able to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. Then, I was going to go right into one.
Yeah, he could.
My number one is one that scared me because I saw it later in life. I think I was in high school, and that's The Shining. I don't do kids; they scare me. I mean, I do. I have kids.
I mean, good. Yeah, like
in horror movies, they terrify me. And this whole movie scared the crap out of me, and I remember somebody pounding on the door like halfway through the movie, and I was petrified.
This wasn't an act.
It had to do with the movie, but it just happened while I was watching it for the first time.
So would you say at first you were afraid, you were petrified?
Yeah, I kept thinking I could never live without you by my side.
You're so good.
Just stayed up so many nights thinking how you could do me wrong.
I think I still have admin access.
All right.
Turned into karaoke.
Yep, for sure.
3 Geeks at Night.
The creepy little girls are. Yeah, they creep me right the math out, and it is.
Right the math
like
out.
The Shining. Yes. Shout out to Adventure Time.
Yeah, we're divided by 0 here. We have to leave.
The Shining, and then like just the story of it, like that movie is crazy. Anyway, just like
And,
what they did and what they went through.
And again, it's one of those where when you get older, the behind the scenes story is just as crazy too. Because man, like I have so much more respect for Shelley Duvall after watching that.
Yeah,
movie.
she got tortured.
She got tortured on that set. And she's probably the most convincing performance in the whole film. Like Jack Nicholson is great, but he's having a ball just being
crazy person.
Over the top.
Chew the scenery.
Nicholson has to show up, and he looks scary.
Yeah, he's just naturally creepy. He doesn't have anything to say anything, but like Shelley's like conveying like a lot of heavy stuff, and like she's very subdued and quiet at first, and then when she has to escalate, she does, and it makes sense too because man, Kubrick was a monster to her. So it's
200
just like,
takes on just
that's
scene,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pay your actors better. That's what we're saying here. It's like,
Yeah.
There is a rumor going around that Hollywood's celebrating because there's a deal. We'll find out next week.
We'll see.
I read that from reputable sites.
Hope so.
Oh,
They already did the whole Halloween costume thing.
Yeah.
That's weird, but whatever. Don't let your children's be Iron Man. So.
I guess in solidarity. Like,
what's your number one, Jennifer?
Oh, Pink Floyd's The Wall. Just imagine being a 10-year-old and watching that. But,
yeah.
the maggots and it's just creepy and animation style. But yeah.
Oh, those characters in the animation are like,
it's
a fever dream. It's incredible. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a great choice. Like, and that's the thing. It's like we've picked and chose a couple of films across like the spectrum, not just like horror films, but like that because that's more like drama music film, but it does have horrific moments, and it's like, oh man. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right, my number one is an it's a film from the 70s, and I've gone on the record as saying like this is one of my favorite like slow burn horror movies. It's Don't Look Now from 1973. It stars Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie, and I did a whole like video essay years ago when I went to Venice because it's about like this couple who recently suffered a loss in their life, and so they go to Venice not just for like work but to kind of get away from it all. And it's an interesting choice that they went to Venice because there's a whole theme of water, I feel, in the film. it plays into the tragedy a lot, which is interesting that they would go to a city that's basically on the water. And it's suspenseful. You're not quite sure like what exactly is going on. A lot of editing and stuff like that makes it feel disjointed purposefully. And then at the very end, it has one of the biggest reveals where I'm just like, it gave me a serious like panic attack, like watching the reveal take place. And I was just like, no, why this? And it stayed with me. Like, even though I know it's coming, it doesn't startle me anymore, but I can feel the hair on my arm like rise every time this scene plays out. And I'm just like, oh
it made you have a full LaBouffe.
Mm-hmm. Yep, a full LaBouffe.
Are you pretty shy about it?
I went full Shia for that. I was like, no. And no, it the ending and the film overall just really stayed with me throughout the years. I'm like, I mean, I've got it here somewhere in my Criterion shelf, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna watch it this weekend.
He made some good horror flicks. Like I just saw something on Twitter where he was in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is technically a remake, but there's a point at the end of the original Invasion of Body Snatchers that syncs up perfectly with the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like they literally just go one right into the other, which makes you want to go back and rewatch it. But I just wrote down "Don't Look Now" because Donald Sutherland made some pretty good horror flicks back in the day.
It is a slow burn. Like you're at times you'll be like, "Where's this going?" Because it's quieter. You know, it's more about like it's more about like grieving and things like that. So. But it's worth it for the payoff. I'm like, oh my god.
What about you, Justin? What's your number one?
Mine is not a good movie, but it came out in 1990. Arachnophobia, horror comedy. But like,
great movie.
I still think about that spider coming out of that dude's nose, and I still shiver about it.
No, I'd say it's effective. Like after I saw that movie, like whenever I went to turn off a lamp, I'd be like,
yeah. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
John Goodman, nice pick.
Gotta love John Goodman in that one.
I love John Goodman in everything, even if the movie's not great. I love John Goodman.
Yeah, he's like, there's something like apple pie about John Goodman. It's like he's just like, yep, I'll have that, thank you, and it'll be delicious.
Yeah, I'll have the John Goodman. Hold the Walter Sobchak on him, please.
Also, the Roseanne bar.
Funny story. One of the people I play with, I'm playing Diablo 4. She made a barbarian that the thing looks like Roseanne, and she named her she named her Roseanne Bear.
Nice.
Or she's not a barbarian; she's a druid. But yeah,
I was gonna say that makes more sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a druid, but she's Roseanne Bear, and it's awesome. It's so awesome.
Oh, so Bear, BEAR.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That makes sense. Well, yeah, druid transformation. Gotcha.
All right. So my number one is It. I think I've told this story quite a few times, but like, I didn't know that there was a second half of that movie. I only saw the first half where it wins, and it is just unleashed on the earth still. Like I never knew that they finally beat it. I for years I didn't know.
I got to live through this, everybody. I got to live through Max's like.
Why
next
didn't
month
Jason
of
ever
his
tell
life.
you? That's
Let me tell you, it's fantastic. He used to ride his bike around the sewers.
Oh my goodness! There was no sewer that you could get me to go near. I had like a whole It was that movie traumatized me more than like some like actual traumatizing life events that have happened.
Are the turtles still alive?
I can imagine too, because we all kind of grew up in like similar suburb areas where the sewers they have like a little area where the pipe would lead out into like a little open plain area.
Yeah,
like go to one of those big pipes and be like,
I'm not looking in there. I don't know what's going on in there. I'm not gonna find out what's going on in there. Okay, it's not gonna get me.
Oh, you'll find out.
That is like it. Oh my goodness! No, the original 1990s one, the bad one. Scared the crap out of me.
Hey,
that first half is fantastic. It's the second half that's not so good.
Okay, yeah, I'd say Tim Curry is very
Oh, he's
consistent
great.
throughout.
He's
all
a
of it.
great
dude.
hit. He's a great hit.
Dude, like I couldn't look at Tim Curry the same. Like I saw him in something else, and I was like, nope, we're not doing that. Like it was a whole thing from that movie. Oh my goodness!
I'd argue Tim Curry's two best roles, Pennywise and what's his name, Long John
Clue?
Silver from Muppet Treasure Island.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
with
like
an
him.
honorable mention to Clue, but for sure.
I
But
get
yeah,
it.
no, it is awful, and like I haven't seen the new one at all. I haven't seen 1 minute of it. I'm not ever gonna watch any of those movies ever again.
So
We can watch him tomorrow.
no, he will not. I tried to get him to watch the second half of it when we were kids. He
I
wouldn't
will
do it.
fight you.
Oh my
But
God.
I just want to tell one quick story. I know we're running long. So I've been on Horror with Sir Sturdy. We've been going on the Nightmare on Elm Street Friday the 13th journey together. And so we had to do the remakes, to do the Nightmare remake and the Friday the 13th remake. Me, Mick, Aaron, Sturdy, and Chris all hated Nightmare on Elm Street. We were all dreading it. There's a guy named Dan. He was on our show a few months ago, Master Shake. He does the mixed drinks. And he liked it. He kept telling us, guys, this movie's better than you remember. And I have ragged on this guy for a long time. All four of us did not want to rewatch this movie. All four of us loved the Nightmare on Elm Street remake when we rewatched it. So I want to recommend out there to everybody to go check out the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Give it a second chance, because I'm telling you right now, most audiences didn't like it because you liked Freddy Krueger, and the remake makes it impossible for you to root for Freddy Krueger. The way that the movie is written, it ties everything so well together. You know what Freddy did, and he is not a good guy in this remake, and it is legit scary. Jackie Earle Haley does a great job as Freddy Krueger. They do such a good job of connecting the past to the present with, the fact that the people that Freddy's hunting down were actually the kids that he targeted when he was younger. Like, it's so well done. I'm telling you, this remake is better than you remember. And I want people to give it a second chance, because when we were all done, we were all surprised that we all liked it, because we all thought we hated it, because we hadn't seen it since the original. And like I said, I think it's because the old Freddy movies, you kind of rooted for Freddy, and in the remake, you can't, because it's very obvious that he is a child molester in the remake. They make that very apparent, and I think it's a really well done and effective horror movie, and one of the best of the horror remakes. And I'm not alone. Everybody on the podcast had the exact same feelings, and I'm telling you, none of us wanted to rewatch this movie. So,
okay.
For the record, I never thought Freddy was a.
Yeah, I never rooted for Freddy anyway.
I never.
you thought he
He's
was
murdering
funny,
people.
giggled, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't
He had
think of Freddy.
character.
Yeah, he had a character and kind of certainly,
Yeah.
but like
Like, it's goofy.
I'm just saying.
yeah, he gets
give
goofy.
Also killing people.
give the remake a second chance, because Jackie Earle Haley, in my opinion, nails it. And I thought the movie was really good, and I'm really surprised I'm saying that. But Jennifer, thank you so much for joining. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Dan, I'm sorry. Dan, I'm sorry for all the shit I gave you for years of our friendship. Like,
Who is this guy?
Well, yeah, what are we
Max,
talking-
when did you get up there?
I know.
You
He's
just
just
let
him
cursing
go.
and-
We're really into therapy now. What's
Right.
going on?
This is very cathartic for Jason. Yeah, this is good.
Jennifer, you did great for your first live interview and live show. Like, fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on, hanging out with us. I know we can get a little crazy sometimes, and you
Yeah.
hung very well. So thank you. Everybody go to YouTube. I have the link down below. Look for Jennifer Bauman on YouTube and follow her on all the socials. You can find the links down below as well.
Can I just say something really because Jennifer, you and I have corresponded for a while now because of the Joel Haver stuff and filmmaking in general. I just want to say you've been one of my greatest supporters recently, and I'm very appreciative of that. I've been wanting to tell you that, like, in person or virtual person, I guess, here. But I want to thank you so much for the support you've offered, and I look forward to a whole lot of your other projects and stuff on the horizon. So
I second that. Thank you too for all the support you've given us, and I'm glad that we got to have you on for your first. That's awesome. So no matter what, we'll be the first. So I appreciate that very much.
Okay. Don't have to say it like that.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Max,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Who
It's okay.
is this guy? What did you do with Jason? What is going on
The
today?
body snatchers. He's gonna start doing this.
well, it
Man.
looks like our
Oh my
session time is
goodness.
coming to an end here, Mr.
Oh
Taylor.
my goodness.
Go to youtube.com
Okay.
/Mike McGee TV. I'm just done talking for the
Nailed
night.
it.
You guys can follow us, 3 Geeks Podcast.
Nailed it.
Subscribe, win. It's fun, guys. We're going to do another giveaway. We've got some Mission Impossibles coming to give away. I can't wait to do that. And we'll talk to you guys very soon.
Happy
Bye,
Halloween.
everybody.